And Iowa nurses among thousands of Iowans facing healthcare changes in that state. Her search to find a new provider. And numbers below zero are enough to numb your fingertips and toes. Why one group chose to spend part of their night right in the middle of those frigid temperatures.
WHBF is local for you. This is Local 4 News at 10.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us for Local 4 News at 10. I'm Redrick. Terry, Jim, and Tiffany are off tonight. Our frigid cold temperatures could not stop a nearly 100-year-old Quad Cities tradition. The Black Hawk Hiking Club has been going on a New Year hike since 1920. It was only -6 degrees for their first hike, but this one was their coldest yet. How they did it is tonight's top story. Local 4's Grace Runkle is live in the newsroom with why the club says the hike is so important. Grace?
Redrick, the club has gone on more than 5,000 hikes since it started in 1920. Today wasn't their biggest or longest, but it was an important one. Before braving the cold, the Black Hawk Hiking Club met in the Deer Wyman Carriage House to plan their big hike and have a warm drink. But then they got down to the real business.
Oh, it's -14 now, and the wind chill is -26, so you will need to be bundled up where.
In 1920, on January 2nd, that we had our very first hike of the club. So today's kind of a traditional, important day.
The hike has changed over the years. In 1926, it was called the Christmas Tree Hike.
And they actually hiked out around Port Byron, where John Hallberg's home was. John Hallberg was the founder of the club. And they would hike there in the evening, and they would exchange gifts. They had a Christmas tree.
And although the moon was out, the night was far from silent.
There's a lot of talking and laughing. I think we scare off any nature that might be out there when we're out.
But for the club members, that's okay. Because even though it's a hiking club, what keeps them coming back is the people.
From the lakes, from the hills, from the swamp.
It's kind of traditional for me, and I kind of like to have some tradition yet today.
There's a lot of good people in the club, and I joined when I was a single mom, and my daughter and I went to different places, you know, with the club, and it's just fun if you like the outdoors and you like to go.
The club's next hike is this Saturday at Devil's Glen Park. This summer, the club will go on its big hike trip in Glacier National Park. In the newsroom, Grace Runkle, Local 4 News.
More power to them. All right, Grace, thank you. And below freezing temperatures have forced some Quad City schools to cancel class tomorrow. Davenport's school superintendent called off school for the district tomorrow. Hampton schools will also be canceled tomorrow. You can find an updated list of school cancellations on our website, ourquadcities.com. And this cold weather is causing some problems for Mediacom customers as well. The company says the temperatures are causing some of the internet fibers to contract. That's making internet signals weak or even cutting them off altogether. Now, a spokesperson tells Local 4 News that as of this afternoon, there are only 3 outages in the Quad Cities area. Crews took care of 11 others today. As many as several hundred homes could be affected as temperatures stay below zero. The spokesperson tells us crews will be working overnight again tonight and throughout the day tomorrow. Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner's new Medicaid program officially started today, and if you're one of the 3 million people on Medicaid in Illinois, you either have regular Medicaid or managed care. Managed care is outsourced to a private insurance company that provides a care coordinator to help you pick a doctor, keep appointments, or manage prescriptions. Now, starting today, the state is officially expanding that program. That means you'll be getting a notice in the mail soon with instructions on how to enroll. If you don't pick a plan by April, the state will pick one for you. And there are now 2 options for managed care over in Iowa, Amerigroup and United Healthcare. And if you're buying privately, there's just 2 choices as well, and those premiums have skyrocketed. Local 4's Jacob Pelko sat down with one woman who navigated through a difficult 2017 and wondered if this was the last year she'd ever be covered.
It's been a really challenging year. I could see the writing on the wall that we were going to have real challenges with health care, as everyone else can.
Deb Elliott's insurance was canceled back in May. She'd been paying $15,000 a year for private insurance, so she had no idea what her future looked like.
So I knew at that time if I was ever going to get my ankle worked on, that has needed to be worked on for 10 years. It better be this year.
Not knowing if she'd have health care for 2018 or ever again, she got that work done and 3 other surgeries as well.
Under ideal circumstances, I would have had them this year. It was not a good time for me health-wise to have them done, and it was not a good time for me business-wise to have them done.
Deb runs the College of Massage in Des Moines, but she struggled to keep up with it since her first surgery this summer.
My business is afloat because of the people that work with me. However, the business can't thrive without somebody leading the way. So we've really just been maintaining as best we could.
For weeks, Deb was on bed rest and couldn't move at all. Doctors tell her she can't have her leg below her heart for more than 20 minutes at a time. That means driving is a no-go. So she had to move in with her parents, who are in their 80s.
I just didn't know what to do for most of the year. All I knew was I had to get as much done as possible now, assuming I would have no health care coverage.
But with the uncertainty in the Iowa marketplace, Elliott says despite all that she's gone through, she'd knock out the surgeries the way she did once again.
It's a real challenge, and I think that anybody who is looking at any sort of health things, they should get them done as soon as possible.
And some Iowans will keep their health care coverage at least until mid-January. Unity Point and Amerigroup are staying together. Amerigroup is one of the 2 remaining managed care companies in Iowa. It serves more than 54,000 Iowans. Now, the contract between Unity Point and Amerigroup was set to expire at the end of 2017. Those Iowans would not have been able to get health care at any Unity Point facility in the state. Unity Point says negotiations are ongoing with Amerigroup. They expect a decision to be made by January 12th. One man is fighting for his life tonight after a snowmobile crash in Moline. Police say they responded to the call just after 8 p.m. at the intersection of routes 6 and 150. Officers say the snowmobile driver was taken to Unity Point with life-threatening injuries. The Illinois Department of Natural Resources is handling the investigation. And health professionals are warning this brutally cold weather can quickly lead to injuries if you don't take necessary precautions. Doctors at Genesis in Davenport say they treated multiple cases of frostbite within the past week, and they are saying this is brand new to this week. Doctors say people are just unprepared for this dangerous weather.
3rd degree and 4th degree is when you may need to be hospitalized, you may need to have antibiotics, you may need to have some type of aggressive treatment.
And the best tip, layer up. Doctors say hats and gloves are essential if you must be outside. Physicians caution, though, that in the end, it's just best to stay indoors. And for science aficionados, this weather can be ideal for experiments. Meteorologist Kit Cloninger and I did just that.
And 3, 2, 1.
Take a look at that. That was some boiling water that was turned into a cloud of ice. So don't worry, we did bundle up before heading outside last night. And that's when temperatures were around 18 degrees below zero, which was plenty enough for that hot water to turn right into that ice cloud there, as you see on our second try there. Really impressive stuff. It was really cool to be a part of.
I've wanted to do that for well over a decade, so these temperatures I am taking advantage of. I'm probably going to do it again tonight. We did another 3 times after that and tested it with cold water, but it didn't do anything with the cold water, so it does have to be at that boiling point. At 212 degrees, it's changing from a liquid to a gas, which turns it into a water vapor, and that's what condenses into clouds in normal atmospheres. And with it going from 212 to minus 18, 230 degree temperature difference, it quickly condenses and instantly flashes into that cloud that you see it makes. And just really cool stuff, and makes little bitty ice crystals that from that in normal clouds, that's where the snow initializes and begins to grow into the big fractally crystals that we see.
Yeah, really cool stuff, and obviously we're still going to have those type of conditions to do that tonight, but if you go out there and do it, make sure you're bundling up.
Definitely, but no conditions for snow in the overall atmosphere. Any ice crystals will be the ones that you make, but here's a look at the almanac numbers from today. We got down to minus 19, a new record low. But we're going to be seeing temperatures pretty cold tomorrow morning as well. I'll have that forecast next here on Local 4 News at 10.